Today I'm going to show how you can make use of the ProCam app to bring out some of the more advanced camera features from your mobile phone that's not already available in the standard camera app. And before I start, if you are new to this channel, I make mobile phone and drone photography videos and tutorials like this, so you may want to consider subscribing to be notified of any new videos. The ProCam app is priced at $5.99 and you can purchase it from the Apple Store if you are using an Apple device or the Google Play Store if you are using an Android device. The selling point of this app is really the ability to manually control some of the camera settings that are not possible even in iPhone X. Some of the key features include the ability to control the shutter speed, the ISO, the focus, and the white balance right from the app itself. So the benefit of this is really the ability to take long exposure photography, capture the motion blur in moving objects, and it is also especially useful for taking night photography, as you will notice later. So let me do a quick run through of the user interface and the features of the app. Starting from the left menu bar, you have the option to switch between the telescope lens or the wide angle lens if your phone comes with these two types of lenses built in. So pressing the M icon brings out the manual settings on the right hand menu options, and you also have the option to select HDR mode to bring up more dynamic range in the photos. And over at the top bar, it essentially captures the selected camera settings, and as a default, I'll typically use a frame rate of 30 frames per second shot in 4K resolution. The flashlight is turned off, and you also find the battery and storage space indicators on the main interface, and these are the kind of thoughtful touches you'll really appreciate if you use your camera a lot. I'll be coming back to cover the manual settings, but before that, let's explore the camera modes, which is accessible via the arrow icon you see on the right side of the screen. ProCam features a variety of camera modes that you can select: 3D photos, portrait mode, slow shutter mode, which is really useful for low light photography and capturing the motion blur. And we also have the burst mode, night mode, and you also have the usual photos and video or the time-lapse mode. And to the left of the menu bar is where you will find the overlay grid lines, which will overlay on the screen to help you get the right composition. First, let's look at the photo mode. Once you select the photo mode, you have the option to choose the aspect ratio of the photography that you want to take. Most of the time, we'll go for 16:9, which allows you to capture the widest field of view, and you can also crop out in post-production if necessary. In the video mode, you have the option to choose between different resolutions of up to 4K and frame rates of up to 60 frames per second. The 4K Max options are available for an additional $4.99, and these are encoded at a bitrate of 150 Mbps, so supposedly you should get 3 times the quality of a native iOS 4K. I've not tried the video quality for this, and if you have, do share your experience with the 4K Max in the comment section below. Scrolling down, you have the option to select other resolution and frame rates that suits your video's needs. In the time-lapse mode, you'll bring you through the same selection menu. I'll try to take a time-lapse at 4K 60 frames per second and see how the video turns out to be. Once the time-lapse starts, the app actually takes a photograph every 1 second, and to achieve a 6-second clip at 30 frames per second, I'm going to need about 180 frames. So let's wait for it, and finally, this is how the final product of the time-lapse looks like. So we'll next test out the slow shutter mode, which is one of the most useful feature of the ProCam app. I'll show how you can take motion blur effects first in daylight, and then in the later part of the video, I'm going to test out the light trail feature at nighttime when the sky is dark. So be sure to continue watching till the end of the video. I'm going to start with a 4 seconds exposure to capture this moving boat, and as you can see in the end product, you will see that the well-focused surrounding buildings with some motion blur on the moving boat. I'll repeat this using a 8-second shutter speed as well as a 15 seconds shutter speed, and this is how the photos look like. Next, let's come back to play around with the manual camera settings. The icon AWB stands for Auto White Balance, which means that the app is going to automatically adjust the white balance as you are taking a photo or video. I recommend that we set this manually, especially in video mode. We can then move the slider to choose between a warmer feel or a cooler effect. So next, for focus settings, to manually adjust focus, tap on the AF button to select it and then use the slider. While focus is being adjusted, a focus assist zoom view will appear on the screen, so this will allow for more precise adjustments. We can also manually adjust the exposure or the amount of light entering the camera by playing around with the ISO and shutter speed. Once we adjust these settings, the exposure button changes from a yellow AE to a white AE-L, indicating that the exposure is locked and it is no longer in auto mode. We can also switch back to auto exposure by pressing the last AE or auto exposure icon. So finally, let's see how the ProCam app performs in night photography. Basically, if you use the basic camera app, the camera is going to push up the ISO at night, and higher ISO equals to more image noise. So the ProCam app overcomes this by setting a higher shutter speed and to keep the ISO at a lower value. So let's first try out with the low light mode with over 30 seconds of exposure. As you can see, as the camera allows more lights in, the Malayan statue is going to become overexposed. Therefore, the low light mode is really only useful in extremely low light condition. So let's switch to the light trail mode. So for this, the ISO is still kept at a very low value, so you'll get an exposure that's not too bad. So I took a series of photos with different shutter speed while there's actually a light show that's ongoing in the opposite building, the Marina Bay Sands. And let's see how this photos looks like. With this, I've come to the end of the video. If you find this tutorial useful, do give us a thumbs up and remember to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.